Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's your Premier League preview. How are we all doing? Manchester United versus Arsenal. The big game of the weekend without question. Is Solskjaer on the ropes? Look, as a United fan, I think he is. I really think he is. But I tell you what, he looked happy. He looked happy after that Rochdale game. So I'll have a pint of whatever he's having because I'm not happy as a United fan. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that the manager's giving off that positivity after what's been a bad run of games. But there's a lot of smoke coming out of Manchester United at the moment. There's a lot of smoke. It's smoking more than a broken down tractor. We need some fire. We need some real fire because United, against Rochdale, against Astana, these teams that are supposedly not that good, they come and fight. And United are like, I don't want to get involved in that. I might crack a nail. I might stub my toe. But against Arsenal, I am predicting a draw. I don't think United will lose this game. I can't see Arsenal winning it. And very, very simply because Arsenal don't travel that well. I mean, they don't. And United, as bad as they are, they're still good footballers who, when they know the cameras of the world are on, I think they'll turn up. Because they're spineless. They're banter. They are a banter club, much like Arsenal have been for years. They are Pampers FC. They don't do it consistently. You can't trust this United side. It can win any game and it can lose any game. And I think against Arsenal, we will see United turn up and then we'll all go, we're back. Ollie's back. And I don't think we are. I don't think United are anywhere near back. But I do see us getting a draw from that. It's a big opportunity for Arsenal. Of course it is. But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced they're going to get something out of it. Maybe that's naivety. Maybe I'm going with form, etc. But there's also a game at the weekend, which is our watch-along. We're going to do Sheffield United versus Liverpool. But this is a nice little feed from Manchester United game over to Liverpool game.
Anthony Martial is the most overpriced, overrated player in Premier League history. £50 million. United fans screaming that they've got their saviour. And he's done absolutely nothing.
So, Anthony Martial, worst Premier League signing ever. This is something that Liverpool fans should be really proud of because you know, like when Man City weren't invented and everyone a lot of Chelsea fans supported Chelsea, then Man City invented themselves 10 years ago, started winning things, and a lot of Chelsea fans went to support them. What you're getting now is Liverpool are becoming a viable option for for fans who are looking to move away, like this fan here, because he's clearly wasn't a Liverpool fan when Anthony Martial was bought by Manchester United. Because when he says, what's Anthony Martial ever done in a United shirt? Well, mate, he came on and in the first 2 minutes of his debut, he scored against Liverpool. He put your defence on its backside and scored a great goal. For many United fans, he repaid his value with that one moment. But you obviously don't remember that because you were supporting Arsenal at the time. I mean, look, seriously. This guy, he ain't got to worry about, he won't be worried about getting cold this winter, will he? I mean, realistically, he is just so salty. Getting round. He ain't going to get cold this winter. He'll be there walking around in his Bermuda shorts, clearing your drive, absolutely beaming out the salt. A man-made gritter. He's proper salty, isn't he? I mean, what's he on about? Even Liverpool fans would take Martial as part of their attacking squad. Arsenal fans, most clubs would take Anthony Martial. Biggest flop in the league. I mean, just get over there. Get over there onto the video. The link's in the video description. Get over there. Read the comments. I've read some. I've put some of my own comments on there. Get over there. And if you're a Liverpool fan, get over there. I mean, this is embarrassing. This is literally embarrassing. What's his next trick? I don't know. You know, John Terry, the worst captain the Premier League's ever had. I don't know, De Gea, worst goalkeeper ever. I don't know. You know, I wait to see what his next video's going to be. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It really is. And on top of that, I mean, look, Martial's not the biggest, worst signing in Premier League history. He probably won't remember this. 2011, he probably wasn't even supporting Arsenal then. He was probably supporting bloody Chelsea. Andy Carroll, 35 million. In today's money, that would be about 90 million. Andy Carroll went to Liverpool for 35 million. Torres went to Chelsea for 50 million. Morata. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anthony Martial's got over 50 goals for United, I think. Certainly got about 35 in the Premier League, but apparently is the biggest flop ever. Jokes. Anyway, our watch-along at the weekend is Liverpool versus Sheffield United. Could have done Everton versus Man City, but I've got my theories on that game not being a very good one. Sheffield United, they do keep surprising people. It's a game where I predict Liverpool will win it. I'm going to say Liverpool to win it, possibly 3 or 4-0. But I do believe that it's only... I want to watch Sheffield United. They've had some really good results, in fairness to them. And I think they deserve a bit of our a bit of our attention. So that's going to be my watch along at the weekend. I think obviously, if Liverpool were to get a good result, Sheffield United was to stop Liverpool winning, it would be a real surprise. But they're picking up the points, Sheffield United, so that's going to be the watch along. But I still think Liverpool will win. Villa Burnley, massive game for both clubs. I think Burnley's experience will come out here. I fancy them to get a draw at Villa. Bournemouth versus West Ham. Look, West Ham are 3 points clear of United. They've got 11 points. If West Ham have aspirations of finishing in the top 8, then these are the sort of games they've got to go and get points in. But Bournemouth are good at home. I fancy Bournemouth to win that 3-1. Chelsea against Brighton, perfect game for Chelsea at the moment. Look, if you want to talk, Manchester United should take a leaf out of Lampard's book. If you want fans to engage in your future vision, actually show them a vision. Lampard's doing that. They lost to Liverpool last week, but I don't think Chelsea fans are worried. I think they know what Lampard's doing. They know he's got a transfer ban. They know he's playing the youth. And the vision is there. So I imagine they'll beat Brighton 3 or 4-0, to be honest with you. Palace against Norwich. I'm going to go for Palace. Norwich are good, but Palace are doing okay themselves. And I think the more experienced Premier League side will be too much for Norwich. So I'm going to go 2-1 for Palace in that game. Tottenham against Southampton. Look, Tottenham need a win. Losing at Leicester last week was hard for them. Pochettino doesn't take any notice of the Carabao Cup, so I don't think Spurs fans will be too fussed about that. But they've got to be beating Southampton at home. They need to get back on track with 3 points. It's competitive at the moment. It really is. And then, so I'll go 2-0 to Spurs for that. I don't fancy Southampton. They've got nothing up front. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Watford. I'm going to change this name to Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Watford, because they're both having a terrible season. Watford smashed 8-0. They were a bit lucky to get a draw against Arsenal. Arsenal, if they'd played half decent, would have scored plenty of goals. Watford's defence is terrible. Wolverhampton Wanderers, well, Wolves, they're suffering because of the Europa League, and I think they've been found out a little bit as well. So it's the game of the L. Remove the W's. It's the game of the L's. These two teams not doing very well. And both, interestingly enough, we're going to talk about Leicester in a minute. Both Wolves and Watford last season were sort of in that group of 4 clubs just behind the top 6. And it was about whether they could move on this year. Wolves are suffering because of the Europa League. Watford are just suffering. So who's going to take the L and who's going to take the W? It's Wolves versus Watford. I'm going to go with Wolves. I think Wolves will take the W. See what I did there? I think Wolves will win this one. I'm going to go Wolves to win 3-1. And then the half-5 kickoff. I was going to do this as the watch-along, and I've gone with a more thinking person's approach. And I thought, you know what? Sheffield United, Liverpool, I think it's going to be the better game. I think Everton and Silva is going to be the next sacking. I don't know what you lot think. So I think that I can see Man City winning this. I think it could be an embarrassing home defeat for Everton. I'm going to go 3, maybe 4-1 to Man City. I know they're a little bit weak at the back, and I know Norwich beat them the other day, but Everton are just ridiculously inconsistent. And the money they've spent and the size of the club they should be doing better. I think Marco Silva's going to be gone. I don't think Everton have got the quality, and I think that City will sweep them aside far easier than they did Norwich. Which then brings us to Sunday in a very interesting game, Leicester versus Newcastle. This is the sort of game that Leicester need to win. They went to United, a little bit unlucky to not get a point, but stupid defensive penalty, and Man United won it 1-0. They beat Spurs at home, but I said this a couple of weeks ago about Leicester. You look at the teams last season who were in that fight to try and close the gap on the top 6. You had Leicester, you had Wolves, you had West Ham and Everton. Well, as I say, Wolverhampton, Watford and Everton are not doing very well. So Leicester, it's all right people saying United or Arsenal could drop down to the mid-table. Well, they're not going to drop down if there aren't teams getting enough points behind them. So for Leicester, this is massive. Their season's going to be dependent on getting 3 points against teams like Newcastle and the lower half teams. So I'm going to go Leicester to win 2-0, but it's a symbolic game for Leicester as to whether they can realistically fight for a top 6 slot, take United's place, I suppose. They've got to start winning games like this. So I'm intrigued to see how that one goes. And then Monday night football, as we know, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Looking forward to that. We'll have the watch-along Sheffield United versus Liverpool on this channel at the weekend. Manchester United versus Arsenal will be Monday night on United Stand. I'm going to go for a draw in that one. 1-1, 2-2. I just think that I don't think it'll be 0-0. Well, it could be 0-0. I'll tell you what, if Arsenal come to Old Trafford and just play defensively, it'll be 0-0 because United can't. The only way United are going to approach this game is sit back and hit teams on the break. That's what we do now. We play this 2 centre defensive midfielders, flat back 4 that we've spent a load of money on, and try and nick a goal and win 1-0. We're not. But Arsenal, I think, will quite rightly come and have a go, and that could be their undoing because they're not so good at the back themselves. So, but I fancy a draw. I think United will raise it. I think you'll see a good performance from people like Pogba, and I think United will get a draw. But it's a big weekend. If United were to lose, I think on Monday night, looking at the table, because everyone will have played by Monday night, United will probably be mid-table anyway. So if they were then to lose, it becomes even worse, doesn't it? But look, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe, smash a like on the video, get your comments in below. Make sure you pop over, link in the video's description, to that person, I shall call him a person and be kind, who said that Martial is the biggest flop in Premier League history. I mean, just an absolute joke. An absolute joke. Links in the video description. Pop over there. I'm going to be on there just reading and commenting as well. I'll speak to you all soon.